friends. My name is Julie, and I want to talk about the communication distortion that says, you can't even do that for me. I want to break it down and put it back together using Marshall Rosenberg's nonviolent communication. And I want to talk about what happens when someone says this in a codependent, narcissistic dynamic. So, I love Marshall Rosenberg. Check out his work. You just YouTube his name. He's like Jesus, like a miracle for humanity in terms of conscious communication. And he talks a lot about needs, about when we make requests of one another, we're really trying to get an underlying need met. And a lot of the times, our requests are focused on behavior that someone else is doing. And if they can't change that behavior, or if a circumstance can't be changed, then it seems as though our need can't be met. That may be the case sometimes, but at least we can have cleaner communication around it, and it doesn't have to be the case all the time. So with this phrase, you can't even do that for me. What's going on there? It looks like the person who says that, their attention is on the behavior that someone else is doing or what they're not doing. And why can't that person just do what they want me to do? That person is so selfish. I can't believe it. They can't even be a little bit more flexible and do that for me. Don't they love me? What's the underlying need here, you know? Is it that I want to be loved? Is that I want to be... So I'm going to use a specific example. My father would say this to me a lot. And I would just feel kind of confused when he'd say it. I wouldn't know what to say, or my attention would still be focused on that behavior and why I couldn't do what he wanted me to do. So I like to be in silence first thing in the mornings until after I've had my breakfast. I like to meditate and do yoga. And so he would say to me, you can't even say hi to me when you walk downstairs in the mornings. Seems like a little gesture. No big deal, right? Why can't I just be a little flexible and say hi to him? So I would explain to him, I like to be in silence in the mornings. But what would be really helpful, let's break it down. So what's going on is that he's focusing on the behavior, saying hi to me in the mornings. And there's a behavior that he wants for me to do that I'm not doing. What he's trying to do is make a request. What he's trying to do is express a need underlying a request. The request is focused on the behavior, but I wonder what his need was. And knowing him, I can make a few guesses. Maybe his need was obviously and simply just to feel loved, to feel acknowledged, appreciated. And I also sense that a component of that need was also an expectation and kind of a need for normalcy, or an expectation that I would behave in accordance with what he perceives to be the normal way to behave. So I think the most conventional way, according to his perspective, would be for me to say hi and chit-chat a little bit when I come downstairs first thing in the morning. And since I deviated from that, it didn't meet his expectation, and so it didn't meet a need for normalcy. So when this comes up with someone, it's a great opportunity to say, hey, what's going on here? Do you want to slow down and have a dialogue about this? If someone says to you, you can't even do that for me, you can say, are you open to having a little dialogue about this? And if they say yes, then you can bring it to the terminology of needs and say, I hear you making a request that I do this certain behavior, but I have a boundary there. Since I'm not able to do that behavior or to change whatever the circumstance is, can you tell me more about the underlying need? Can you ask yourself, what is it that you need here? And because maybe I can help you meet that need in a different way. Like I could say, I would love to say hi to you and to sit with you after I've had breakfast. And once I start my day, of course I'd love to say hi to you. Of course, I care about you. I acknowledge you. You're my dad. so, so is there another way that I can help you meet that need? So that would be the way to sort out what's going on here and to understand it. It had confused me for so long that when someone says, you can't even do that for me, they're focusing on the behavior, they're trying to make a request to have a need met. Now, if we can get at that underlying need, it's quite possible that we can help them meet that need. That's another thing with Marshall Rosenberg. I statements, so I own my needs. So we're all responsible personally for getting our needs met. But since we all love each other and we're all social beings, we want to help each other get our needs met. So it would be my dad's responsibility to take responsibility for the need that he's trying to get met through me saying hi to him. Okay, so that's what's going on there. One more time. I can't believe you won't even do that for me. You're so selfish. What's going on is that they're trying to make a request. Dig at the need. Say to them, what is the underlying need here? Because I might be able to help you meet that need doing a different behavior than the specific one that you're trying to request. Because if we're always focused on specific circumstances and behaviors to meet our needs, then a lot of the times our needs can't be met because we're all individuals and we all can't change our behaviors all the time to meet one another's needs. But sometimes we can, and sometimes we'd love to. So now I want to talk about what this looks like as a dynamic between someone with codependent tendencies and someone with narcissistic tendencies. So I'm going to just say the narcissistic and the codependent shorthand here, but I don't want these to be labels that are describing people. They are just mental, emotional, perceptual habits, and they can always be changed. So for shorthand, the codependent, instead of the one with codependent tendencies, the codependent is often self-reflecting, questioning, and doubting themselves. The narcissist, so the one with narcissistic tendencies, the narcissist kind of doesn't self-reflect. Instead, they see their needs and then they see what's going on around them as whether or not what they want or what they think is best is happening. They don't have that self-reflective knee-jerk reaction or capacity. I mean, we all have all these capacities, but it doesn't occur to them to self-reflect. So the narcissist would be the one to say, you can't even do that for me, because it's fitting into a storyline of like, can't everyone see what I need? Can't everyone just see what I want? And can't they just do it? It's selfish for someone else who could easily change what they're doing to not do something for me. That's so selfish. They're not considering me. But selfishness always goes two ways. If someone is being selfish because they're not doing something that I want, they could just as easily flip it around and say that you're the one being selfish because you're wanting something of them. So I'm being selfish because I can't just say hi to my dad first thing in the morning. And my dad's being selfish because he's wanting of me to change my behavior for his sake. So the codependent, when they hear this, you can't just do this for me. When they hear this, they would go and take it personally. Why can't I just do that for them? I'm so inflexible. I need to be more flexible. I do care about my dad. I want to show him that he cares in his language. Can't I just say hi to him first thing in the morning? That's not a big deal for me, right? It's a small thing. There's a lot of self-doubt, judgment, reflecting on all the times I'm so inflexible, and a lot of inner reflexivity and like doubt. But what the codependent needs to do is set boundaries. That's what, because the codependent tendency is to yield to the other, to stretch themselves beyond themselves and their boundaries in order to accommodate the other and give to the other. Now, part of that motive, as you can see here, is there's some energetic punishment going on when they're not meeting the request of the narcissist. There's a punishment of judgment and criticism, at least. There's a tone with that. You can't just do that for me. There's something wrong, and that energetic, they don't want that. The codependent doesn't want to accept, well, if I can't do that for them, then I deserve to be the recipient of that kind of an energy, so lots of words. So there's that energetic punishment that comes when I don't stretch myself or flex myself to give to the other what they want. So what's going on for the narcissist is that they're not really seeing why. They're not really maybe interested in why can't the codependent or this person who I'm talking to, whoever it is, why can't they do that behavior? Why can't she say hi to me? A healthy mind would care, would give and receive. A healthy mind would say, can you say hi to me in the morning? No, I like to be in silence. And they might be curious or be interested. Well, I want to hear more about what it's like for you first thing in the morning, Instead, the narcissistic mind doesn't do that. It doesn't open to the other person's perspective. And then the codependent mind opens too much to the other person's perspective. It's good to open to the other person's perspective, but they take it on. They open so much that they let go of their own sense of boundaries. So the narcissist wouldn't go there to see what it's like for the other person and the why behind their behavior. They stop at the level of behavior because that's where they can see that it affects them. They don't realize that when they understand where the other person is coming from, they let that inform them about the other person's behavior, then their need might still be met. There's like a lack of opening to listen into the other person. So one person is knowing that they have a need, knowing that, like, having the belief that it's a simple need and the expectation that the other person should meet it, and also isn't listening to see the why behind the other person's behavior. And then the other person is listening to see the why behind his behavior, is saying, gosh, that request is so simple, is judging their own boundary and is doubting their own boundaries, encouraging themselves to push their own boundary, to flex their own boundary, to give that other person what they need or what they're requesting. So, see, anything else about that? Check out Marshall Rosenberg's Nonviolent Communication. It's good stuff. Also, check out, I'm forgetting his name right now, but if you YouTube search the title of his video, How to Argue But Not Fight with a Narcissist, you'll find this guy that has really awesome videos about narcissistic tendencies. If this resonated with you, you might really enjoy his stuff too. So that's all for now. I'm Julie. I'm an astrologer. I teach a lot of conscious communication things like this. Feel free to reach out. Take care.